Why wait until you've achieved your health and weight goal to start working on your confidence? In this episode, we bring on a fashion, health, and wellness expert. And we have a lot of really cool questions to ask her today. Little did you know that what you wear and what your closet looks like plays a huge role in how confident you feel today, and it influences big time the next action you take towards achieving your goal. So Kathryn's gonna dive in and talk about how you can take control and improve your confidence with your wardrobe so that you can achieve your health and wellness goal. A lot of good stuff today, so excited for you to hear it. Hey there, David Chesworth coming to you from Hilton Head Health on the beautiful Hilton Head Island, and we're here for another episode of Health Talk. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Kathryn Mademann, and she's here to talk about how do your clothes make you feel. Kathryn brings her expertise over 30 years of experience in the world of both fashion and health and wellness. She has been lecturing on topics for over 15 years and has been with H3 for the past 4.5 years. She has an MS in rehabilitation counseling and has a TED Talk on TED.com called Know the Power and Strength of Your Presence. So thank you so much, Kathryn, for joining me today. Did I miss anything about your introduction?
No, you did a super great job.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Well, I am really excited to be here today because, at H3, you keep reaching out to your guests, your viewers, your audience with, education and thoughts and enrichment programs. So I'm just happy to have a conversation.
Yeah, and what you do is really cool. It's unique. We've never had it before you actually coming here 4.5 years ago. And it's really it's really added an awesome dimension to what we do. And, I think even at first we weren't even totally sure what you were about, what you did. And so actually I have a question to start with. And actually, how do your clothes make you feel, and how does it relate to this inner journey that people are on?
Well, absolutely. And coming in here, I'll step back for part one and
Sure.
I'll tell you about the clothes. So being here at H3, you work with the physical, the emotional space of somebody, the way they feel, what their insides are, the eating, nutrition, the diet, the exercise, right? And then as you have a full global view, I get to step in and say, all right, you're working on the insides, but how are you feeling on the outside? Are you feeling confident? Do you feel good about yourself? Mm-hmm. And some people feel great, and some people are having struggles with that. And so the people who are not feeling all that confident, I recommend come talk to me because I can help them get that piece of the puzzle together. As I say, it's a puzzle. And I think what makes us really unique here is that we have that whole global well-being puzzle.
All the puzzle pieces.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so what you're saying is you're not actually, the clothes are a reflection of how you feel on the inside, and making that a priority is like making confidence a priority, making self-worth a priority. Am I getting that right, or correct me?
No, you're right on, and it's actually it's inside and outside. When you start feeling good on the inside, you are feeling good on the outside, and vice versa. When you start feeling good on the outside, you will feel better on the inside. And I have to tell you, when people start the weight loss journey, you start learning about your exercise, your diet, your nutrition, and you start losing a few pounds. You start feeling, oh, my clothes are starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel like I have my game on. I have a spring in my step, which is really important. But it's equally important to understand this. How do we manage to keep you feeling good and also with your confidence the way you look? When you look in the mirror, can you look at it and go, oh, I feel good today? Or you kind of go, oh, no, not today. Because we're going back to our very first comment. How does our clothes make us feel? The clothes are very powerful, and I think I want to really understand that because they can help you feel great, but they also can make you feel very frustrated, especially if, after our COVID, we've all gained 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, and all the clothes that are in your closet are not fitting you right now. That is not a great feeling. It's actually, I tell the guests when they come into my lecture, it's our first trigger in the morning before you even go downstairs and step in something that the dog left. Because you open your closet, you look at it, and you go, what am I going to wear today? And then from there, the level goes right down into your toes. The frustration, the anxiety, the shame, the lack of self-worth. It's just a trigger right down. And fear. And the fear is, how do I get out of this? And that is something that I talk about in my class, but also when I work with clients privately. We all have fear. I mean, I have fear factors too, but when we understand how it all trickles down, when you see that closet and nothing is really working for you, let's figure that out. And that's what I do here. I help everybody get an idea about, let's start with tips and ideas and get that block out. You know, they talk about blockages, right? You know, Lizette and mental wellness program there. The blocks are blocks, and they can sometimes be about this long, or they could be about 12 feet long, and how you break through them. And we're here to help you with that. But when you have a block about your wardrobe, it's important to understand how we can fix it. And I have ways of doing this. I've been working at this for a really long time, and I've had thousands of clients and the stories. I mean, I'm an expertise because I've listened to the stories. I have the data. I know there's a commonality in the thread, but everybody is truly unique, that it's important for them to understand that you and I are similar, even though we're dressed the same colors today.
We both got the blue memo today.
But we're not, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really important, is the individuality that I have a chance to sit down and talk to them with. Does that make sense?
It does. So are you saying, well, I think it does anyway, are you saying that someone who feels confident on the inside is more likely to show that on the outside, but you don't have to wait to feel confident on the inside to get the ball rolling, that you could start by, what's in your wardrobe, what are you wearing, and by doing that could influence your confidence, and it could be like, the chicken or egg thing, what came first, does it matter? If you focus on one or the other, it's going to influence the other. Is that what you're saying?
Clearly, it's part and parcel, for sure. And I'll give you an example for that. So let's say you feel stuck with your weight, right? It's not moving, but you're exercising, you're dieting, your lack of calories, all that, you're frustrated. And so there's an expression I use in my TED Talk. It's called end-cloth cognition. End-cloth cognition means you dress the way you feel. It reflects your mood, your lifestyle, your attitude, and how you are in the moment. And if you're not feeling all that great and happy and content, you will dress like that. And so it automatically, you put this armor on you saying, you know what, I don't feel good, and I'm going to go out in the streets, and anybody who's watching you walk down the street, they're like, that person's not having a good day, because they're not in their power. And they put on, the old clothes, the big, comfy, cozy clothes that probably have some holes in it that they shouldn't be wearing, but they do. They wear their slippers to the grocery store. Who came up with that one? So anyway, that's a whole other fad. But an understanding that when you're not feeling great, one of the things I do say is to be sure to dress better than how you feel, because that will empower you to feel better. Trust me on this one, I can help you with that. So in-cloth cognition is very important to understand. So if you wake up, all of a sudden you're late for work, you're 10 minutes down, and it just everything's hassle. You sort of go for the easy, comfy clothes. Is that what you want to reflect that day? Or do you want to put on something that's more attractive to you and you feel better in it, in the style and the color and all that? And that's color, fit, and style, which we can talk about. So there's all kinds of moving parts to here. So David, as we talk about this today, I hope I get there. I get all the things we want to get into talk about.
Well, we'll dive in. And actually, you gave me this handout with this description of enclothed cognition. And I think it summarizes really nicely what you just said, that it says your style and the clothes you choose reflect and affect your mood, health, and overall wellness. So not only is it something that you do, not only do you react if you feel good by choosing your clothes, but choosing your clothes can in turn affect your mood. So I think that, would you add anything to this definition you gave me? Like, what is enclothed cognition?
Nope, it's pretty much it is what it is. It's a global thing. It's emotional, and that's one thing, and people don't recognize that until they kind of sit in class going, oh my gosh, I never thought of that before, because everybody's busy with life. I get to be the expert here. I get to be one that brings information to everybody to say, listen to this from my side. This is my little pond. I'm not going to tell them what to eat, and I'm not going to tell them how to exercise, but I can give them information about how to help themselves. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So in this closet full of clothes that we're talking about, and how does it make you feel? And then one thing I do say in class is, do you have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear? And everybody kind of raise their hand and go, yeah. And so there's a story in there, and we unravel that story. It is a treasure chest, and there's the good, bad, and the ugly in it. And so we have to decide how we're going to manage that, because when you walk into your closet, or when you open the doors to your closet, you want to have joy. You want it to have a positive feedback. You want it to feel good to you, rather than going, oh no, here we go again. It's an odd lot. It doesn't feel good. It's from 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds ago. What do I do? So one of the key things that I do talk about with in my class is that the first thing we do is got to take care of business. I call it slay the dragon, and cull that wardrobe. Make sure that we take things out that are not working for you in real time. I mean, I've done some closet makeovers.
When you say, so what are some examples of clothes that someone would want to throw out that's not working for you?
5, 10, 15 pounds tight. Or
too tight.
Too tight or too big.
Or too big, okay.
So traditionally, people who are, are feeling a little bit complicated with their, everybody, the seasons. We gain 5, 10 pounds in the winter. We sort of lose the 5 pounds in spring, summer, and we gain it back. So people have the seasonal clothing.
The seasonal flow.
To have a bunch of clothes in there that they've had for years, and then one day I'm going to get back into that. My suggestion is to take it out of your closet. If you think you want to keep it for a day or for another time, you think you're going to achieve that weight loss for it, put it in a closet, down the hall, in a box, out of your view, because it's not serving you in real time. It's so important to be in real time with yourself. And I think it's the same way with diet, nutrition. You want to be where you are today. And even if you're uncomfortable being the 15 pounds heavier than you want to be, at least the chaos is out of the way. And that's what's really important. And it's one of the gentlemen I was talking to goes, well, what if I have had a lot of gentlemen come to my classes lately. He goes, well, I got these other clothes. So when I gain 10, 20 pounds back, what do I do with those? I said, well, give them away. And he goes, well, I said, then if you need them again, that's a penalty. You got to go buy them. You're out. You're in the penalty box. You can't do that. He's like, I get that, but it's interesting, the psychology and the stories that go with it. So everybody keeps them up. And so when you have all those that are not working in space, it just adds clutter. And that's not a good thing in anything in life. It's like when you go down to the kitchen, there's clutter and you're like, all right, who's going to do the dishes, right? And managing a closet and going into there is not fun. So I often will say to somebody, hey, bring a friend in who will help you. If you don't have anybody, I do FaceTime stuff with people and help them, rearrange their closets and stuff like that. But you start to feel liberated. You get your grounding back. It's a funny story, but it's not that funny. When somebody's getting ready to go to work and they start pulling out the clothes, they say, okay, what am I going to wear? And they pull them out, they try them on. Oh, not today. Oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, this is a little bit too tight. Oh, this is not working. And all of a sudden they have all these clothes on top of the bed. You ever see that before?
Yeah.
So they're not working for them in real time. They might not be the right color, the right fit, the right size, or whatever. And after it's all said and done, after they take it out and they know they're not going to work, after they get dressed, they put all the chaos back into that closet for another circus.
Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. So you want to have a wardrobe that's working for you in real time. So if the clothes are too big, 15 pounds too big or 15 pounds too tight, get them out of your closet, whether it's throwing them away, or if you aspire to fit into them later, put them somewhere you're not going to see them every day. What about and then I like your concept of, if the clothes are too big and you keep them, are you saying to yourself that you intend on going backwards at some point?
It's a safety net.
It's a safety net, right. But then, so here's my question though, for the nuanced question, I guess. What about the person who is motivated by seeing the clothes that they can't fit into yet? It gets them excited. Well, should they put all of their clothes? Should they keep one in the closet to look at? Or what's your opinion on that?
I mean, they can, but I haven't met a lot of people who feel that way.
Okay.
I always thought, I think it
might be a myth that I have.
Somebody did, a famous person put the jeans on the closet.
Right.
I'm not going to say.
No, say no names.
And I personally, from my experience working with people all the time, that is a trigger.
It's more demotivating.
It's demotivating. I'd rather keep wearing my clothes and then let them feel loose on me. And as soon as they start to feel loose, either go back into the other pile where where it's a smaller size, or go off and buy something for yourself, which I suggest that too. Here's the thing about clothes. You don't have to spend a lot of money. People are like, I don't want to spend money on my clothes. Okay, let me give you the perfect example. I was at an event and a lady came up to me and she says, I'd like to hire you because I want to have a new wardrobe. I said, fine, that happens often. And she says, I'm losing weight, and when I meet my goal, I'm going to hire you. And I said, fine. And I asked her, I said, so how much weight have you lost? She said, 5 pounds. I said, that's terrific. So I'm wondering, what is her plan here, and how is it going for her? And she said, I said, okay. And how long does it take for you to lose that 5 pounds. It took a year. And before I said anything, she then said to me, well, and I'm not going to buy anything new until I lose my 30 pounds. So I just did the math on my fingers. So I looked at her, I said, you just said in 5 years, you're not going to buy any clothes. You're going to continue to wear the same clothes over and over and over until you achieve that goal of 30 pounds. I said, I explained to her, that's not a great approach. Because number one, she's punishing herself already. Mm-hmm. And you know that. Everybody, when people are struggling, feeling that way, because I have not achieved that weight goal.
Right.
And my heart breaks because, it's because everybody's worthy. And that's the word, that's also the shame mm-hmm. and also fear come in. And that's where I'd like to break down those barriers and work with them and say, look, let's get you in the right colors, the right fits that gives you the right style. So a lot of times people dislike shopping. Not a lot of people. Be surprised. I thought I liked to go shopping, but I expected everybody else liked it. My clients, when we go
not for everybody. When
I take them out shopping for the shopping segment, you'd be surprised. Some of them break out in a sweat. They have such flashbacks from childhood, from somewhere in their life, and it's just never a good experience. And they get overwhelmed looking at all the clothes in the store, mm-hmm. and so they can't figure out what the styles. Because here's the other thing. I know there's so much to talk about. The stores, they need to put out seasons. Right now it used to be 4 seasons. Now they probably do to 6 to 8 capsules a season. So there's always new stuff going in the stores, and some of it is not the right color fit to make the perfect style for everybody, right? So people have to understand, just because it's there to be purchased, if it's not the right color and it doesn't fit you 100%, which I talk about, you don't buy it, because otherwise that's going to go into that funny place in the closet where you pull it out, you put it on, no, it's not quite right, and so you put it back, and it goes back into the circus.
So there's something so we have a new director of behavioral health. Her name is Anne Poirier, and she. So this is all her. This I got this completely from her. But she has a metaphor that I think is that says what you're saying. And she says in her body image class, she talks about it. She poses the question: have any of you ever gotten a bad gift before for your birthday or for Christmas or whatever? And what did you do with that gift? Probably threw it away, put it somewhere in the closet, somewhere you never. And what? On the other hand, how many of you received a great gift? What did you do with that gift? You probably still have it. You put it out. You take care of it. You're excited. And so her message is, what if you thought of your body as a great gift, no matter what stage you're at? You're probably going to take care of it. And you're probably going to want to choose better clothes. And then the clothes are going to make you feel like a better gift. And so I feel like what you do resonates completely with what we do in these other classes that we're talking about.
Oh yeah. And we're simpatico. We really are, and the whole idea is for our guests to feel great, mm-hmm. always inside and outside, mm-hmm. and that's what our whole goal. And that's why everybody at H3, when somebody walks into that building, mm-hmm. they have a team of people who are there to give them the best experience possible.
So can you just walk us through? So I'm a guest of Hilton Head Health, or I'm someone who's interested in doing a service with you. Like, what does that service look like from start to finish?
Yeah. All right. So we have private consults that I do. And so when somebody wants to have a personal conversation about what's on their mind, in class we talk about a broad spectrum, a broad view of what things that we will talk about privately, but understanding color, fit, and how the psychology of your wardrobe affects you. But sitting together one-on-one, talk about your lifestyle, talk about your personal body image. I mean, oftentimes, David, a lot of the guests are here because of some sort of medical condition, a surgery that didn't go well has sort of mm-hmm. deformed the body. I've met women with mastectomies. It's been across the board. So when they come in, they can't wait to have a conversation because they've been feeling so frustrated for years because of what this medical condition they have, and they want a solution. They want to know how to do this. So that's the first thing, and they have to find the confidence in me that what I'm going to say to them is going to help them as well, and that's important for me because I want them to know that they can trust me and we will help them get through this. So from there, as now stepping back into a stylist, I'll talk about everybody has their own personal canvas. It's your hair, eyes, teeth, skin tones. And if they change, unfortunately, once we hit about 45, sorry, but every 5 years, we shift in our skin tones, especially if you change the color of your hair. I have had people whose eyes have, who are blue, they turn brown with aging. Your teeth will age and your skin will age. So even colors that we wore 10 years ago don't look as good on us as it did before because we did something and just maturation, evolution of life. So there's a personal canvas. Everybody has that personal canvas. And in my experience, there's about 5 to 10 great colors everybody has. After that, they're meh. My son, he was.
I see that we both have blue as one of our colors.
Yeah, that's right, right. Well, because actually it's a happy color.
It's a happy color.
And it looks. This is one of the colors that looks good on most people, but not everybody. So, but my son said, "Mom, you only had when COVID." I said, "So how are you feeling today?" He goes, "Meh." I was like, "What does meh mean?" He goes, "Meh." So there's a whole color palette that is meh. That means it's not your 100%. It's not your wow, pow colors. And so what people don't understand, when you understand the power of the color and how it resonates with you, that also helps you feel better. I mean, there's our tricks. I mean,
So this is something you do in your service, is you help people discover what colors bring your canvas out, your
Correct.
personal canvas out.
Your personal canvas. And then we also talk about styles. So everybody's body is different, and everybody has, not every style out there is for everybody. And that's where, again, it's the personal, individualized service. I work with them in understanding how to best dress that person. And don't forget, it's lifestyle, where they live, what part of the world, if it's hot, cold, and what do they like to do, and what stage are they working, retiring, all the things that go with it. So there's a whole bunch of pieces of this puzzle that I have to put together to be able to coordinate what is best for them. Sort of like a recipe,
So when you say like the best colors for a person or best style, some people might feel like is this a subjective thing? Like, is this like artwork? Some people like it, some people don't. Or are there like, you objectively? Can you talk to that piece?
Yeah, of course. Well, it is objective.
It is okay.
Because it's evidence based. Because when that person starts putting on clothes that looks good on them, they smile and they cry because they've never felt that good before.
Right.
So it's evidence-based. That's one of the talents I have, is my eye and able to dress people.
Okay.
And I pay close attention to that because that's what's different. I'm not selling somebody a blouse. I'm not selling any clothes to anybody.
Right.
But when we go out, I make sure what we do look for and what they do purchase is when they feel fabulous. So when they go home, they have boots on the ground. So as they are dealing with this closet that has a closet full of clothes, they at least have some pieces to go home with that empowers them, gets their walk. And I actually have people email me, say, "Hey, Kathryn, since I've been there, I've lost a few more pounds, loving it, feeling great," all those. And they'll come back and see me again, and we'll go off for another, shopping every so often. Yeah.
So as part of the service then, there's a consultation part where you sit down with them, you meet with them, but then there's also a part of your service, or one of your services, where you go shopping with them. Is that kind of like what you see in the movies, those montages where they're going in the dressing room, they're coming out, and you're going yay or nay? Is it like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can hear us. Oh, yes. Because it gets fun because people overhear us in the dressing room. It's always fun. And people come out and goes, "I want to do this too." And I say, "I can't. I'm with her." Or if somebody's in the changing room and I'm outside waiting for her, people will quietly come out of the other changing rooms and say, "What do you think? What do you think?" Like this, because she hears me dealing with it. She's watching. They're watching this woman coming out of the dressing room looking good. She's like, "She's looking really good." So they look at me, and I often will say, "No, I'm working with her all." Sometimes I'll just go like, I'll go like this. But I will give them some truth to them too. But again, it's a joyful thing to see. And also, I educate them while we're shopping. They show me things that they traditionally have purchased in the past. Some works, some doesn't. But I will take them to the area where I know it's going to work. And they're going to see the colors, how they work. It's evidence-based. And I often say colors, everybody can love a color like yellow. That's a color that does not like me back. So we can like a color that is not one of my wow, pow colors. So I'm not going to get that level of wow I want out of it.
Yeah.
But so I don't wear it because it doesn't help me, but I will buy it in flowers and I'll put it on my table.
So I guess what makes something a wow, wow, pow color? You put it on and
You radiate.
You
your
radiate.
colors. Yep.
It brings out.
Like this color's really good on you, but when you wear gray.
Is it because my eyes are blue and the shirt's blue, or
Yeah.
what is it about?
Okay, let's talk about David.
Yeah.
Let's talk about his color.
Yeah.
So with your skin tones, right? You have pink in your skin tones.
Okay.
He has baby blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah.
And so the color, the royal blue that you're wearing, is actually adding color into your skin tone. So it's helping you look even more healthier.
Okay.
Color can also flatten us. It can take us down. Even like if you put another color that's not nice, as strong as that to you, all of a sudden you go flat. So that's how quick, color is a refraction.
So
of light.
gray would be a flat color for me.
It is.
Okay.
I have seen you in gray a lot. I know it's one of my colors, but I keep my mouth shut very much. I just walk around, just doing my thing.
So that's good to know.
But when you guys were doing videos, everybody came to me, what color should I wear?
Yeah, that's true. We did.
Yeah. And then everybody, but that's the power, and also, being on camera too. It brightens you up. It's engaging, and people like to see pretty things, and it just adds a whole canvas to you.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So
He's not pretty. He's handsome. We don't
oh,
care
shucks.
about that.
So it makes you radiate.
Yes.
And so on the other hand, do you kind of going back what you said before? Do people sometimes subconsciously or consciously purposely choose clothes that flatten them out so that they are less seen, that they're shy, or they're less confident? Is that part of the psychology there?
Very much so. Bingo. And that is a lot of it. Going back to what we talked about originally, and this is serious because depending on, there's some life events that happened to somebody early on where they were sort of taught in the family that you don't look, you don't come forward, you always sit back type of thing. You can't be too boisterous. So that's part of it. Part of it is that person is not feeling comfortable about themselves. Again, they have shame. They're not what they used to be. In this population, when we started, when we used to have the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, depending on from 45, 50, 60, 70, a lot of men and women, our figures shift, and people always think about how I looked when I was 35, even 40, but now here
Comparing
we are,
themselves.
65, and
Right.
And all of a sudden, he's like, what happened? And people just feel sad, and so they wear sad clothes, and that keeps them sad. If you wear sad, you look sad, therefore you will be sad. And I don't think you want to be sad. We want you to be feeling good. We want you to feel empowered. We want you to, get on with your day. And, COVID just kept everybody inside.
Sure.
And everybody sort of had this I call
Everyone was wearing gray.
They were wearing gray and black, and everybody painted their house gray inside too.
We lived in black and white.
But it's important to understand that it keeps you. And this is the thing about fear. And I'm not I have masters in counseling and things like that. The fear of the unknown. An example. A woman came up to me and she says, Kathryn, I have been through so much. I'm going to go back to work. She's a CPA, very smart gal. Has been out of the workforce, so she's feeling intimidated getting back into the workforce. Looked at her closet, and all of it was from 20 years ago, very dated from when she worked there, and she just knew her game wasn't on. Meanwhile, she had just gone through a sloppy divorce, and one of her children wasn't well. So there was just just dumped on, just a big pile, right? And she just couldn't get all this weight off of her. But she did know she wanted to feel better, but she didn't know how to go about it. So I said, yes, I will help. In fact, I talked about her in my TED Talk because the empowerment of what she had is when we got together, we talked about what she's looking for, some clothes for her new business. She's starting her CPA business and all that, and reaching out. I asked her, how do you feel before we started? And she says, I'm afraid. And I looked at her and I said, well, that's a new one. There's lots of different feelings. She goes, and she started to cry. And I said, you're afraid? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, can you give me a little bit more? She goes, well, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know how I'm going to feel at the end of this. And people know what they know, even when they're not feeling good, they know. They know that sadness, they know the dark room, they know those dark feelings, but what they don't know is what feeling better could be, and being afraid. So she trusted me. I actually went out and took her, and it was very inspiring to watch this, because she did this herself. As we went to different stores and actually purchased something, let's say she wore a blouse, she left the old blouse at the store, shedded her clothes as we were going to different retailers. One store had a blouse, one store had a pair of pants. She left her shoes, she left her jacket, as she went along buying all these new things. And then by the end of it, she was skipping down the sidewalk. And this is in Saratoga, New York, because it was like, the best example is like Forrest Gump. Remember when he's running down the road with the braces and they're coming off his body, they start exploding off his body? That's the power of getting that feeling for yourself.
So getting to the next question, what are the most common mistakes that you see people make with their wardrobe?
Understanding that everybody has a personal canvas, right? And understanding how to dress it for your empowerment. I think that's number one. Number two, not dressing in real time. Keeping all the chaos around you. That the wardrobe is the whole closet full, not just clothes, right? It's a wardrobe. So really getting that into real time. So you takes that anxiety, the disappointment, the trigger of the day type of thing, And here's the other thing: when people, wear comfy, cozy clothes, it's the same thing as like comfy, cozy food. Your comfort food and your cozy, comfy clothes.
Right.
Those two guys together. So I'll give you one more example. Thanksgiving. Remember when we were little kids, we'd eat so much Thanksgiving, our dinner, and our pants would be so tight that we'd have to lay on the floor and unbutton them?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Well, guess what? In today's world, yoga pants, sweatpants, scrubs do not give us that information. So there you have it.
So we're not getting feedback from our clothes, is what you're saying.
We're not getting any biofeedback from our bodies.
So baggy clothes can contribute to behaviors that lead to getting baggy clothes. Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So that's why what we do together is really part and parcel. It really, it's a whole well-being approach.
Why do you do what you do?
Thank you. Oh, I love working with people. I'm very passionate about having a skill set that I can help someone with. We've all gotten to a place where you're sort of stuck and there's a big puddle in front of us and you want to jump over, but you can't do it yourself. So I have a chance to help somebody, pull them up, to help them jump over that puddle. And they say, no more barriers, no more blocks, no more whatevers. Let's get over that and let's start engaging. Let's get that foot going. Let's step and toe. Let's move forward. And that's what I love doing. And because of my experiences between fashion and media and counseling, my family, we had a rehabilitation center. So I've worked with a lot of different populations that I understand. There's a deep root sensitivity that goes down to our gut. And so when somebody understands that and also helps them with the exterior, they think that's what the uniqueness is. It's not just going into a store and trying to sell somebody a blouse. Right. That's not what I do.
You really see a transformation in people, not just visually. I mean, that's a given with the fashion, but it's really an internal transformation.
Clearly, and that's what gives me joy, and I love doing that. That's my passion.
So, well, this has been great. Well, a lot of good takeaways here, but if you could leave one takeaway for the listener today, what would that takeaway be?
Ooh, one takeaway. Well, I think we hit on it earlier. Take a strong look and see how you feel, and what would you like to do? Look at your closet, make sure it's working for you in real time. Look at your clothes. If you're giving you joy, carry on. If they're not giving you joy, figure out why, and let's figure out how to help you. And that's what I can really, that's what takeaway.
Cool. Well, Kathryn, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a pleasure. We'll have to have you on again sometime. In addition to coming to Hilton Head Health and signing up for one of your services, how can people follow you, listen to you, learn more from you?
Oh, thanks, David. Yeah. So I do have a website called km2style.com. I have an Instagram. And if you want to reach out to me, Kathryn Mademann @gmail.com is the best way of email to reach me. Okay. I have a TV show that I have since I moved here, along with my passion for what we do here. I fell in love with this coastal life. It's called Coastal with Kathryn, and you can find me there.
Coastal with Kathryn.
Right, and we have a YouTube channel, so all kinds of things that you can find me. But Kathryn Mademann at gmail.com. That's an easy email that it's best to reach me at.
And you have a book.
My private one, by the way.
And you have a book coming out in summer.
I do. I'm
so
excited.
Something to be excited about.
I know. I'm working on it, and it's about confidence, self-image. It's about empowerment.
Does it give tips and tricks in the book, or what kind of book is it?
It's storytelling.
Storytelling. Okay.
And I think it's a nice gift to give, just so people understand that they're not alone in this journey, because the different stories I share with them is across everything. So thank you, David.
And thank you all for watching. This has been Health Talk. If you liked what you saw today, be sure to comment below, ask questions. If you have any questions for Kathryn about what she does, about how to enhance your style, enhance your confidence, shoot them our way, and we'll be sure to answer you. And if there's anyone else you'd like to see us interview, be sure to let us know. Remember, ultimately, this podcast is for you and your health journey. So thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you at the next one.